right with you. I'ma get right with you. Bad, then dismiss it. Bad. I ain't really here to take no pictures. Flash. Middle up the system. Hold up. Get right with you. I'ma get right with you.
Hope College has many proud traditions, but poor sportsmanship is not one of them. The student-athletes' involvement in intercollegiate activities contributes to the development of their core values of fairness, integrity, honesty, and respect. These values are an integral part of a competitive yet positive game environment. Hope College, the MIAA, and NCAA promote good sportsmanship by their student-athlete, coaches, and spectators.
To the DeVos Fieldhouse on the campus of Hope College. Mr. Secor, can you hear us in the booth? All right, we're going to go for tonight's non-conference matchup between the Hope College Flying Dutch and the Knights of Calvin University, two nationally ranked teams in Division III. Calvin comes in ranked 3 in the country and holding a 20-3 win-loss record. Hope College comes in ranked 17th in the country and holding a 19-5 record. Calvin has only lost 3. They lost to Wittenberg on this very court. They later, the next weekend, lost to the University of Northwestern right here on campus again, and then to the University of Chicago on the road in Hyde Park. Hope College with a 4-1 record in the MIAA. They're led up front by Annie Lockett. And on defense, they are led by Charlotte Breck, Alyssa DeWeird, and in the back row, Olivia Fiebing. My name is Scott Vanderstoop. I am joined here by the legend. He is back for the biggest game of the year. His name is Parker Billings. Parker, it's good to have you here. Welcome home, my friend, on homecoming weekend.
Yeah, thank you. It's been quite a bit since I've been back. Always good to hit up the booth and watch some good Hope College volleyball. Really excited to see this matchup, especially after the loss from Calvin at their home. It's good to be at our home now with some little home court advantage and back in the booth with you.
And this crowd is electric, as we will get some sights and sounds around the arena in just a little bit, but you can see some of it. Calvin, to their credit, said they were going to bring in a bus of students. They brought in 3 buses. They've got what would that be? The southeast corner of the gym largely to themselves. Credit the Knights for traveling well, I guess, when you're number 3 in the country. Before we get to the match tonight, Parker, I got to ask you, you could run for mayor around here. You know everybody. How do you know everybody? Just from being here as a student?
Yeah, from being here as a student. I assisted the team in 2018 as a student assistant, so it was good watching and getting involved with the players. Being side by side with the coaching staff was awesome, getting insight into how they're doing scouting, how they're playing matchups, and then also just getting to know the players. It was an absolute blast. So kept in touch over the years, and definitely coming back and helping for camps and stuff like that. So always great keeping relationships with players and meeting new players, and you know, finally getting to watch them play in person. It's been the first time I've gotten out to Holland, so super excited to watch this matchup.
Well, tonight we've got we'll talk a little bit about tonight. The teams played once before in the match that counts for the MIAA. We've gone to single round robin. Calvin Parker is led by Heidi Westra. They have a freshman setter, but that has not slowed Heidi Westra down, especially the last time we played them.
Yeah, absolutely. Heidi Westra, you know, always a huge presence for Calvin, and coming up huge last time too. What was it? She had 22 kills against Hope when they played at Calvin. Definitely going to be, you know, huge matchup. And if she can silence Annie Lockett on their direct matchup, if they even line them up to get across the net from each other tonight, that'll be a fun matchup to see.
On Hope's side, they are indeed led by Annie Lockett. She's been nicknamed the Rocket by the play-by-play announcer on the web stream. She played 20 matches at Eastern Michigan, a Division I program, a respectable one. You know, she's probably not used to a crowd like this, but she certainly is used to the elevation of talent that she's going to see here.
Absolutely, and I mean, she's got a cannon for an arm, and if you're sitting here courtside, you can see just how high she's touching and jumping. So, you know, the ability to hit over the block and really hit those angles is going to be super, you know, detrimental to Calvin's defense if she's on tonight. And again, like I mentioned, if she's head-to-head with Heidi Westra, that's going to be a really interesting matchup to watch up close here.
So we are ready for some great NCAA. I almost said MIAA. I guess it's MIAA, but it doesn't count. But before we do that, we're going to turn it over to the public address announcer, Mr. Dave Fleece, for our national anthem and the lineups.
Before we announce our starting lineups, we ask that you please remove your hats and join us as we stand to honor our country and everyone defending it with the playing of our national anthem. And lineups for tonight's match. First, for the visiting Knights of Calvin University. Number 4, starting for the Knights, the senior from Jenison, number 1, Aubrey Rubal. A freshman from Grand Rapids, number 6, Alyssa DeVries. A senior from Grand Rapids, number 10, Maria Boss. A senior from Clarendon Hills, Illinois, number 13, Heidi Westra. A senior from Holland, number 16, Tori Roskamp. A sophomore from Hudsonville, number 20, Vanessa Martinez. And a junior from Belleville, number 21, Gabriella Kellogg. The Knights are coached by head coach Dr. Amber Warners. She's assisted by Emily Clark, Reese DeRusa, Kelsey Sears-Walton, and Morgan DeVries Bream. And now for your Hope College Flying Dutch. Number 5, Gracie Allen. Number 6, Jenna Core. Number 7, Kate Lurtsma. Number 9, Jenna James. Number 10, Ella Quintant. Number 13, Liz Vanderslice. Number 15, Eva Hardung. Number 18, Sammy Seib. And number 21, Brooke Fox. And now starting for your Flying Dutch, a senior from Hudsonville, number 1, Emma Post. A sophomore from DeWitt, number 2, Grace Marshall. A sophomore from Mason, Ohio, number 4, Annie Lockett. A freshman from Plymouth, number 11, Lauren Lee. The senior from Grosse Pointe Farms, number 12, Charlotte Brecht. The junior from Traverse City, number 14, Olivia Fiebing. And a sophomore from Kentwood, number 17, Allison DeWeerd. Your Flying Dutch are coached by Becky Schmidt, assisted by Charlie Andrews, Carrie Lahaki, Amber Morrison, Gabby Vachon. Our officials this evening are Brian Smith, Tina Hamp, Todd Klein, and Steve Metzer.
We are ready for two giants with terrific traditions and great history. The teams have battled for decades against each other. If you look at the win-loss record for the last 10 years, Calvin will have the edge. The last national championship of 2014, the two teams, Parker, played 4 times. They split in the regular season back when it was double round robin. Calvin got the upper hand in the conference final. The two met again in the national semifinal in Newport News, Virginia, and Hope came out on top. And then 2 days later defeated Emory University for their only volleyball national championship. Great traditions, but yet 2 freshman setters. A lot of pressure on these young women.
Yeah, I honestly think my sister was on the Emory team. So that's
no, she wasn't.
Yep, she was. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see the matchup. I mean, both have proven themselves and are leaders in the MIAA as, you know, the special team or whatever, having a ton of assists. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, head-to-head if they're able to pull the block and kind of do their job. So definitely a matchup to look out for, too.
Parker, is there any connection to volleyball you don't have? Your sister played on the national runner-up team for Emory when they played your alma mater, Hope. That is a small volleyball world.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
We are all set to get started. We are grateful you have joined us. If you are within 30 or 45 minutes of the DeVos Fieldhouse, we don't have much room left, but we have some, and we would love to have you here. If not, we're glad that you joined us. Fiebing with the first serve, and the first attack is blocked by Allison DeWeerd. And Hope wins the first point of the match, and the crowd erupts. There's no way they're going to be able to keep this pace up.
Absolutely not.
And an ace by Fiebing, as Calvin can't handle it.
Hope serve looking nice and aggressive. We'll see if they can keep Calvin on their toes and a little out of system here.
Both teams serve very well. We'll see Calvin with their tough servers too. Feebing tries to go from left to right and tries to thread the needle, maybe a little overconfident, and Calvin picks up the point on the service error. In for the Knights to play the back row sessions is Teresa Ken, and she will drop back to serve, trailing 2-1. Serve to the middle, and Hope has trouble with it as Emma Post can't handle it. And we see the toughness of Calvin's serve. And Teresa Ken has obviously proved that she's in there for a reason, and we're tied at 2. This is one of the best crowds in the last 10 years I've seen. Back set on a tip to DeWeert is handled by Calvin. Second contact by Calvin is by the setter. It goes to Lockett. It's dug up by Ken. That one's dug up by Feebing. Back row attack by Post. First contact Westra. Outside attack is played. That was Maria Boss. A tip by DeWeert is pushed back. Now they're going to go outside to Lockett. Blocked and covered, but Hope cannot retrieve it after the cover. And Heidi Westra doing what she does best, hitting it hard and tooling it off the block.
Yeah, and first long rally of the night. We'll see if either team can gain momentum off that. A lot of big blocks and a lot of great out-of-system swings. I'm
tired of just calling that rally. I don't know how they do it. Here's Teresa Ken again with her 4th consecutive serve. Calvin with 3 points in a row. Lockett sends it deep. Ken picks it up. They go outside to Boss. She fires it off the block, and Hope cannot cover it. And it is 4-2 Calvin. Maria Boss firing it from the outside.
And Boss always so consistent, able to use those high hands to get a great swing and a great kill out of a not-so-great situation.
That's what you do as an outside hitter. You get everything, don't you? First kill for Boss. Ken moves over to the other side, and this time she serves it from right to left and tries to thread the needle unsuccessfully, and Hope will get the serve back. They trail 4-3.
Charlotte Breck up in the front row. We'll see if she can make a difference here for the Dutch.
DeWeert serving before she comes out. Middle attack by Westra, and it is a laser that Hope cannot retrieve. Calvin gets the serve and the point. They lead 5-3. Westra just glides through the air from both the middle and the outside. That one was not a position you're used to seeing her, and she was able to get it, and they lead 5-3. Lee has to chase this one down. Lockett gets some nice contact on it, but it is handled by Calvin. Outside again is Boss. Blocked and covered. Hope will come with Lockett on a roll shot. Boss with the first contact. Right side to Westra. Great pickup by Hope. Now Lockett off the block. Annie Lockett ricochets it off of Heidi Westra.
And Lockett is so good at finding great contact in all those situations. You know, you see her being patient in the rally, hitting over that block until she finally gets an opportunity to terminate.
You called it, Parker. Battle of the Titans starting early. That particular micro battle goes to Lockett. Here's Lee, goes middle. Dug up, great attack by Breck, but Calvin handles it. Now it's Boss. Here's Lee for Hope, rolled by Lockett. Middle attack is pushed to the corner by Tori Roskamp. It wasn't pretty, but it caught Hope off guard, and Calvin leads 6-4. Westra to serve.
You can definitely see Calvin's been doing their homework, picking apart Hope's defense, using those long angles and deep corners.
Doesn't matter how hard you hit it, does it, Parker?
Nope, sometimes not.
On the overpass, it's pushed back by Alyssa DeVries, the freshman setter, and a point for Calvin. Westra to serve again, her second serve of the set. Jump serve, Lockett picks it up. They go middle to Breck. Single-handed pickup by the libero. Free ball, Hope will get another chance outside to Lockett. Dug up by Ken. Boss, dug up by Feebing. Lockett rolls it. Rubel to DeVries. Second contact goes over. Lockett will roll it deep. DeVries is going to go to the middle. Not much on it, but Hope actually struggled with it. So Calvin will get another chance, and it is Boss. Boy, Hope had him on the rope, but they couldn't take advantage, and Calvin leads 8-4.
Great set by the freshman Calvin Setter, able to reverse the flow and push it outside. Boss able to find that gap.
And a timeout by Hope, the first of the set. They trail 8-4. We will take a short break, and we'll be back with more Hope Volleyball.
Experience you won't forget. Located in downtown Holland, Michigan, our historic campus is close to shopping and dining and just 10 minutes from Lake Michigan. We invite you to check out our campus tour options or sign up for an online tour with the Hope Admissions Office. There's never been a better time to see Hope College. Visit us at hope.edu/admissions.
We are back. Calvin off to an early lead, outplaying the Dutch so far in set one. Quick look at the early team stats shows it. Hope hitting 0 and Calvin hitting 235. Parker, we talk about the hitters, but how about Rubel for Calvin and Fiebing for Hope? Keeping those are rockets that they're both fielding, and they're putting it right back on the setter.
Absolutely. Fiebing's doing a great job of covering that cross court, taking those shots from the outsides. But Rubel, man, dig in the middle. That's a hard dig, to be successful on. She's just popping them back up.
Westra continuing her serve at 8-4. And Hope struggles with it. They're going to free ball it over, but Calvin's going to get a chance as Hope struggles to get back in. That attempt by Roskamp is blocked. Calvin covers. And the middle by Boss is a scorcher at the 14-foot line, and it is 9-4 Calvin.
And Boss already with 11 attempts on the night. Sneaking one through there. That was a huge swing.
Westra with another run. Two big runs, one by Ken and one by Westra, both ending in service errors. But boy, if you're Calvin, you gotta like what you're seeing from serve. They're keeping Hope off balance.
Yeah, and I do love seeing, opposite hitters that are 6 rotations. Emma Post and Heidi Westra both battling it out in that position. Westra always so efficient from the front row, but she's also a huge presence in the back row, so we'll see if she gets active as well.
9-5, Calvin leads. Here's Emma Post, as you said, but she is blocked by Maria Boss. Also in there, Roskamp, and it is 10-5. As Emma Post could not get it around the double block.
And that is a big double block.
Dropping back to serve is Maria Boss, the senior from Grand Rapids Christian. She stands deep and delivers a jump serve. Sammy Seib pushed over by Post. Outside attack. And it is touched. Gabriella Kellogg went hard from left to right. And it would have been out, Parker, but it was such a tough cut shot. Hope felt like they had to play it, and they touched it. 11-5.
Yeah, Kellogg with her first swing on the night ended in a kill. Definitely see if she gets active here.
Boss again. Medium depth and trouble by Hope on serve receive, and it is 12-5.
And volleyball truly is such a game of serve and serve receive, finding that balance of aggressiveness versus control from the service line, and being able to give those 3 option passes from the back line is so important to run your offense.
Right now, Calvin having its way on the serve. This will be the 3rd straight by Boss. Lauren puts it to Breck. She pushes it over. Outside is Westra from 12 feet off the net. It's played by Hope. Emma Post. It's played by Boss, and that attempt is blocked by Hope. Post and Breck send it back, and Hope stops the bleeding. They still trail though, 12-6.
We got some great swingers on the Calvin side, but Breck is such an effective blocker. Good to see her get active up there.
That attempt by Roskamp is ricocheted off the block. Hope cannot retrieve it. and it is 13-6. Coach Parker, what do you got to do here? Do we call another timeout already?
Looks like it soon. We've got a couple big runs here. It'd be good to get a momentum shift forward.
I'm going to ask for your timeout speech in just a second, so get it ready, Coach. Lauren Lee, middle attempt, and that is Breck. Oh, excuse me, DeWeert, but Hope gets it over. Oh, excuse me, Calvin gets it over. DeWeert again, and that's a point. I think we also had a net violation. Either way, it's going to be a point for Hope. 13-7. From the right side, it's Emma Post. The left-handed right side hitter. You got to like that, don't you, Coach?
Absolutely.
Outside attack. And it goes wide as Gabriella Kellogg tried to get it up and around the double block. Credit the block on that, don't you say?
Yep, absolutely. Having to find little pockets to hit of the court outside of that, especially on a tight ball, you get sometimes trapped up in the net.
13-8. Hope trails. Post again from the right side of the court. Trouble with it, although Calvin will get it over. Free ball. Lauren Lee with the second contact attack. And she puts it right in the middle of the campfire. And it's 13-9.
And Lee, credit to her for running such a fast offense that Calvin, scrambling on its heels, trying to get to the pins, didn't even get a jump up on that dump.
Emma Post with her third serve in a row. She sends it deep middle. Rubel to DeVries, outside to Kellogg. One-handed pop by Seib gives DeWeert a chance. Now Calvin from the outside, and Kellogg sneaks it in between the net and the block. Hope could not get enough penetration, and it is 14-9.
It is a good sign from Hope, finding some momentum, getting some points back, digging it a little deeper, but Calvin siding out. We'll see what they do with the ball.
And that serve goes deep from the setter, Alyssa DeVries. And Parker, I think that's the first time Calvin has not picked up at least 1 point on their serve.
Absolutely.
14-10. Fiebing will drop back and serve from the left side of the court. She gets the signal from assistant coach Carrie Lahaki, and she sends a low liner and just hits the net tape. That would have been a dirty serve, but it just wasn't high enough. 15-10, and the server for Calvin is Teresa Ken.
And again, we mentioned that fine line of being aggressive and consistent on the back line. There are some negatives to serving aggressive, but if they're able to keep them out of system, it's a great trade-off. Just like
trouble,
that.
Yep, trouble for Hope, as it's, again, poor first contact. Credit the Calvin serving. Teresa Ken with an ace, and it is 16-10. She sends it deep middle. Emma Post with the first contact, but it's got to be tracked down by Fiebing. Free balled over by Lockett. Here's Rubel to DeVries outside. Blocked and covered. Maria Boss. And there's a middle by Alyssa DeWeert on a little quick hitter from the 5-hole. Just what the doctor ordered. It's 16-11. More quick offense, you think, Parker?
Yeah, I think that's how Hope's going to really pick apart the Dutch, is by using their middles and being able to run their fast offense, finding holes. Outside
to Heidi Wester as she ricochets it off of Lockett and Breck, doing what she does best, and that's a point for Calvin, and it is 17-11. Westra with her second kill out of 4 attempts, hitting .500. Rubel, the libero, will drop back and serve from the left side of the court, picked up by Hope. Lockett from the middle on serve receive, and it's covered by Calvin. That is usually a very effective play, coming Lockett out of the middle, Parker, but boy, Calvin read it.
Yeah, they get a double block on everything, so it's tough to swing around.
And a timeout again by Hope College. They got some work to do here in set 1. They trail 18-11. We will be back with more Hope Volleyball right after this.
My name is Megan Bigelow, and during my time there, I was on the Hope women's soccer team. I decided to choose Hope because of the opportunity to be involved in multiple things. I didn't want to go somewhere where I was just a number in the field. I was able to double major, experience both the business academic load as well as economics. I loved the opportunity to really get to know my professors. Hope exceeded my expectations.
I'm Nate Bauman. As an invested community partner, we're proud to help share Hope's stories of transformational impact.
One as the number 3 team in the country, showing they're ranked that way for a reason. Parker Billings, I'm ready for your timeout speech, down 18-11.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm no expert, but Hope, their middles are traditionally so effective. Calvin relying on size and power on the pins, but, if Hope's able to run a really quick offense, be able to, get some one-on-one matchups between the block, I think that's kind of how they're going to be able to pick apart the Calvin defense. But Aubrey Rubel, credit to her for getting Calvin in system all the time. It's a tough thing to break.
I think you are very much the expert, sir. That's why you're here to my left, and I appreciate it. Here is Rubel serving from the left side of the court, and she aces the Dutch again on a wicked serve that just doesn't seem to stand still. It's like 90-mile-an-hour screwball or something. 19-11.
Yep.
Left side again. This time it is picked up. Lee's got a chance, but Charlotte Breck mishit it, slightly off on the timing, and that's exactly the kind of thing that probably happens as you start to get a little focused on the score and how you're not receiving well, and all of a sudden you find yourself down 20-11. Rubel again, post to Lee, tipped over by Breck. Hope will get another chance. Middle to Charlotte Breck, and she pounds it through, ricocheting it off Maria Boss. Finally, something for Hope to cheer about. They trail 20-12. Lee will serve from the right side. Tough server all season long. Westra from the right, and Lauren Lee can't pick it up as the block was a little late, and it is 21-12.
That ball was an absolute laser to the line. Credit to Lee for even getting a hand on it.
Westra will serve with her team leading by 9. And wow, that was right over the net, picked up by Lockett. She'll also have the third contact from way back in the court. And now it's the middle attack by Calvin, and it's picked up, and Hope gets it over, but Calvin will have another chance. Tipped by Boss. Lockett from 12 feet off. This is going to be outside by Boss again. That's pushed back by Hope. Boss will try again, and she doesn't hit it hard, but the timing was impeccable, and Calvin leads by 10.
And Boss kind of surprised she got that kill, but setting herself up, doing everything right, in a great situation to make a good swing. So consistent there on the outside.
Westra serves it deep, and at least 3 of Hope's 13 points have come on service errors by Calvin. It has been all night, all the time here in set 1. Lockett will serve from the left side of the court, sends it fairly deep. Westra, and she'll take the back row attack and roll it. Lockett has to dive for it, so that means Post is going to have to send it over. And now it's a little slide shot by Rosskamp, and Hope wasn't ready, and it is 23-13. Serving for Calvin is Boss. She's another senior from Grand Rapids Christian. Actually, she's the only senior from Grand Rapids Christian. Several players from that school, but the only one from that cohort. She sends a jump serve to the middle of the court. Marshall, middle to Breck, picked up by Westra. Outside attack is dug up by Hope, but no, they can't get it as Gabriella Kellogg threw a little changeup. It wasn't anything fancy, Parker, but it caught Hope off guard, and it's set point.
And it just seems like Calvin can't do any wrong right now, especially on the defensive side. Hope getting some great swings, but always dug up by either Westra or Rubel.
Yes, good point. Credit defense for Hope, or for Calvin. Lee is going to give it to Core. She gets a lot on it, but it's Westra picks it up. Outside by Kellogg, and that one's blocked by Post and Breck. And Hope sure could use a little good news, and they got it there, but they do trail by 10, and it is set point Calvin.
definitely a great time for Hope to get some momentum here.
Yeah, you want to get a few points, don't you? Westra. Sammy Sive will be second contact to post. Now Westra again. Pushed over by Kellogg, kind of ugly, and sure enough, it's illegal contact. And Hope gets a break there. That might be the only mistake Calvin's made all set. 24-15. And that serve is deep, and that means it's Calvin gets set one. They win convincingly, 25-15. We are going to take a little break, and we will be back with more Hope Volleyball.
It's no secret. The best way to learn about Hope College is to spend time on our campus. The Hope admissions team invites you to a personalized visit experience you won't forget. Located in downtown Holland, Michigan, our historic campus is close to shopping and dining and just 10 minutes from Lake Michigan. We invite you to check out our campus tour options or sign up for an online tour with the Hope admissions office. There's never been a better time to see Hope College. Visit us at hope.edu/admissions.
My name is Evan Thomas. I'm a rising senior at Hope College. I'm a biology major and a chemistry minor on the pre-med track, and I play basketball here. Hope's really defined my goals and defined the path I want to set for myself. Coach Mitchell has been a big catalyst in my growth here at Hope, as well as many professors, specifically my lab professor, Dr. Calvo. I hope to use what I've learned here at Hope to continue my research in medical school. Through medicine, I hope I can erase healthcare disparities.
I'm Ryan Vanderswart. As an invested community partner, LBZ is proud to help share Hope College's stories of transformational impact.
There is a school whose namesake is not a founder, not a historical figure, not a state, city, or physical landmark. It is named after an ideal, a virtue, a way of life. Its name is Hope.
We are all set for set two as Calvin dominated set one. Parker Billings, what do you see from that first set?
I mean, it's tough. The Knights look absolutely perfect right now. I mean, credit, their block setting up a huge thing to hit around, and then their defense is doing a great job of digging around the block and picking up what it seems like every single swing. Maria Boss doing an excellent job. No errors on the night for her, but 15 total attempts and 4 kills. So she's doing a great job of being an outside, being so consistent and swinging well out of system. But able to find those kills still when it matters.
I think if you're Amber Warners, that break between sets was like, all right, folks, just keep doing what you're doing, because they did very little wrong. They had one ball handling error, and I think that was it. They had 14 kills compared to Hope's 5. They hit 220. Hope hit 029. Jenna Core, the other outside hitter behind the L2, she had one attempt. Just they couldn't get the ball, and this one starts the way it ended, which is with an ace. And it is DeVries, the freshman setter.
Hope changing up their passing pattern, hoping to get a little more in system here.
Second contact, and if that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. Lockett with a rocket.
Hoping to see more of that here in the second set.
Hope cannot sustain the momentum as the service error by DeWeerd, and that will make it 2-1 Calvin.
Can we talk a second about that second contact from Lee, though? Diving across the floor, one-handed dig, putting up a perfect ball for Lockett. That's crazy.
Great play by Lauren Lee to make that happen. Here's Teresa Ken. Calvin changing their lineup a little bit in terms of service error. Charlotte Brett from the 5-hole ricochets it off the middle block as it couldn't penetrate enough, and we're tied at 2.
I don't know what Coach Schmidt said on that timeout, but it sure fired him up. We're seeing a ton of action.
So much more energy. They seem less nervous. There's Martinez with an attempt, but it's dug up by Fiebing. There's a tip. Fiebing digs it, but can't quite get to it. But you're right, Parker. You gotta like the energy. Hope just seemed kind of on their toes, on their heels the whole first set.
Yeah, Lauren Lee doing a great job of now spreading out her offense a little more.
Well, I guess when you're excited to be down 3-2, it means that the first set didn't go very well.
Yep.
Annie Lockett, it's handled by Calvin. Heidi Westra bounces it off of Lockett, and it is 4-2 Calvin. Hope needs some good things to happen to him, and I got to believe it starts with the first contact.
Yep, getting in system is key to running a great offense.
Rubel sends a tough serve over. Lee has to chase it down. Lockett pushes it over. That one didn't look very pretty, but there's no call. And a middle attack by Tori Roskamp catches Hope off balance. They couldn't get a block up, and it's 5-2 Calvin.
And some earlier momentum from Hope, but completely shut out by the Knights, who've done an excellent job of tooling the block, and being able to use different swings to absolutely dominate the Hope defense right now.
Hope desperately needs to keep this one close. Middle pushover by Breck. Outside. The attempt by Boss is blocked, but she gets another attempt, and Fiebing digs it up. Lauren Lee sends it over. Boss. And it goes to Roskamp from the middle, and she picks up the point. 6-2 Calvin.
And that's the first time Boss was shut out tonight, but able to cover that block extremely well, and then being able to run the middle straight out of that.
They went right back to her, didn't they?
Yep. Absolutely great play.
Rubel. Fiebing has tough time with it. Marshall has to send it, Fiebing on the third contact sends it over after Marshall pushes it. And there's a little slide play by Calvin, and they pick up another point from Roskamp. It's 7-2.
And Hope is looking to be in a tough spot if they don't improve their passing over the course of this match.
I think you're right. They are trying to array their players differently, aren't they? It's Fiebing. Lee outside to Lockett. It's blocked, covered by Fiebing. Lee, middle to Breck. Right side attempt by Westra, and she rolls it over, and it's another point. It was just a nice heady play by Westra, who saw 2 blocks, and she put it exactly where she needed to. It's 8-2 Calvin. Rubel with her 3rd or 4th serve in a row. Hard serve picked up by Lockett. Post will go from the outside as the right side hitter in that particular serve-receive rotation. It's deep, and it's 9-2 Calvin, and they are picking up where they left off. We will take a break and see if Hope can dig out of this hole. You're watching Hope Volleyball.
Can you hear that sound? That's the sound of a marginalized family's future filling with hope. For $60, you can change the life trajectory of a family through the gift of a goat. When a family receives a goat through Gift of Hope, they have access to nutrition and income. Visit www.rca.org/givehope to shop gifts that share Christ's love. Give a different kind of gift this holiday season. Give a goat, give hope.
9-2, set 2. Calvin has led from wire to wire so far. We are at a nearly capacity DeVos Fieldhouse. Parker, that's probably the only good news that the Flying Dutch can have right now, is that they're enjoying a great crowd, but they got to play better.
Absolutely, and it's always fun to have a great atmosphere and some energy, but it'd be more fun to play a little better and be able to score a few more points here against Calvin, who came out. This is probably the strongest I've ever seen Calvin come out.
Yeah, I mean, in defense of the Dutch, Calvin is just playing flawless volleyball, and Hope is playing well, but Calvin has an answer for every offensive attack. Rubel will serve again. Thiebing, Lockett on the outside, and she finds a spot, except she's going to get called for a net violation as she flew in. And Lockett saying, but it was after the contact. So there's a little discussion. You know we're in this big-time environment now because the up and down official, Parker, they got the microphones on. You only see that in D1. That's big time.
I didn't even notice that. We'll be getting to the challenge system soon.
No, wouldn't we like it? They could watch our YouTube video. 10-2. Rubel to serve again. Lee will go back to Lockett. Picked up in the back by Ken. And Heidi Westra fires a laser past the block, and it is 11-2. I think everyone believed that Calvin would be favored going into this, and Hope had to play their best, but I don't think anybody thought that the score at this point would be as lopsided as it is. 11-3 on the service error by Rubel. Jenna Core finally into the match, as there were a series of big-time runs by the Knights.
And you would hope that the home crowd advantage would do a little bit, but seems like Calvin has just as many people here.
They brought the house, that's for sure. Post to Lee in the middle to Breck, picked up by Rubel. The attack by Boss is played. Now we'll go middle, and it goes to to Roskamp, and it's right at Lauren Lee, who could do nothing but put her hands up to protect herself. It is 12-3, even more lopsided than set one.
And Lee doing a good job of trying to run her middles out of system, but just not finding that connection tonight.
Lee has to chase this one down again. Jenna Core sends it over. Rubel with first contact. Outside attack by Boss. It's off the block. It's out of bounds, and it's another point for Calvin.
And Calvin Setter doing a great job of letting her swingers reach absolutely as high as they can, able to tool off those hands or hit down into the court.
Service error by Westra, 13-3. And I guess one way to say it, Parker, is the less we see Lauren Lee running, I think the closer the score is going to get. She's had to track down a lot of balls.
Yeah, she'll be tired by the end of the match. Not a lot of in-system passes for her.
Grace Marshall will serve from the left side of the court. Rubel to DeVries. Back row attack by Westra. Nice play by Lee. It's Core with the tip, but it's blocked and sent back. Core will send it on a nice shot, but Calvin picks it up again. That's Boss. That one's handled. Core sends it hard, but she couldn't get it in, and they're pleading for contact.
That's where I think I'd like the challenge system. I thought I saw a big touch on that one.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I guess when things are going well for you, they go well for you with the officials too.
Absolutely.
And it is 14-4. Calvin with a dominating lead. Core on second contact. It's going to go to Emma Post. Rubel picks it up. Outside is pushed. And Emma Post sends it back on the joust at the net. And a little good news for Hope. They trail 14-5.
We'll see if Hope can pick up some momentum here.
Emma Post serving for the first time in this set. Sends it over. It's picked up by Boss to DeVries. On a slide, picked up by Hope. A rocket by Roskamp. Hope free balls it, so Calvin will get another chance. And that time, Gabriella Kellogg came from her middle spot and fired a scorcher, and it's 15-5.
And Kellogg putting that ball in even around the triple block that the Dutch put up.
Wow. Hats off to the Knights so far this evening. Lauren Lee does not get the second contact, as once again, Calvin making them work hard on serve receive. Heidi Westra Picked up by Sammy Side, but again, it's going to have to be a free ball over. Calvin with the advantage, outside attack. Blocked, covered by Core. Lauren Lee puts it over, but it's just a little deep. Excuse me, a little wide. She couldn't really do much then, other than to put it over with her right hand. It went wide, and it is 16-5. Roskamp will serve. Lauren Lee will go to DeWeert. Westra with a great first dig. First one is blocked by Calvin, and finally, something goes right for the Dutch. Gabriella Kellogg had her first one blocked. She covered it. That time she tried to go wide, and it was outside the antenna. 16-6, Calvin with a big lead.
And good to see the Hope players conversing with the coaches. We'll see what kind of insight they give them as they head into the last part of this set.
Phoebing. This first one will go in the middle, and it is Vanessa Martinez, the Hudsonville native, the graduate of the Wyoming Wolf. She comes in with a middle attack that puts the Calvin Knights up 17-6. And Hope's going to take their second and final timeout of this set. We will be back with more Hope Volleyball right after this. Hope trailing 17-6. Clearly, they've lost some matches this season, Parker, but they've been competitive. But I know that 2 is not 3, but boy, they just haven't been competitive yet.
Yeah, and a lot of animated talking from Coach Schmidt there in the huddle, a lot of nods. So we'll see if they can find some momentum here. I think it's just a matter of passing, and then once they get their passing down, we'll start to be a little more aggressive.
That will improve the hitting opportunities. Westra picked up by Post, but it's too close to the net. And Heidi Westra just suffocates the overpass, and it is 18-6. Lauren Lee sends the second contact over. It's handled. Martinez has hers blocked. And Heidi Westra sends it down the line. It's out, but it's touched. Another point for Calvin, 19-6. DeVries to serve. Calvin is a much better team than they were the first 2 weekends they came here for tournaments, that's for sure. Annie Lockett picks up a point from the outside. One of the few times that we've had a good first contact, Parker, and they're able to be effective, but Hope trails by 12.
So there's the first ball kill. That's what Hope needs to do, continually side out.
DeWeert with the serve. And Martinez hits it off the block. Hope can't cover, and it is it 20 or 21, Parker? I thought it was 21.
I'm not sure.
But we'll take 20. And no one's complaining about it, so it's 20-7 on the scoreboard. Either way, it is an indomitable Calvin lead right now.
There we go, one in-system pass.
You called it, Parker, absolutely. Coach Billings telling us what we need to do, and it's 28.
And in-system with such a dynamic middle as Charlotte Breck, Calvin has to give the Hope offense, a little respect, and Annie able to go, or Lockett able to go up with a single block. That's where she's going to be the most effective.
Attack by Boss, played by Hope. Emma Post with an opportunity, but just a little off on the contact on the second touch, and that will be a point for Calvin. This tough time for that to happen. 21-8. Here's Rubel. Feebing to Lee in the middle to Breck, and she's blocked, and there is no cover. Tori Roskamp won the 1v1 on that, and it is 22-8.
And that's a hard ball for Breck to hit, as she can't, that ball's coming from behind her, so she can't see the block in front of her.
Good point, very good point. Block it. Lee has to pull it back. Free balled over. They're going to go right side. A miscommunication, and Westra still got it over. And Emma Post takes advantage of the error by Calvin, and she ricochets it off Maria Boss, picks up a kill, and it is 22-9.
Both sides of the court, they're having a little communication, or miscommunication, but doesn't have to be pretty as long as the job gets done.
Lester and DeVries smiling. I guess you can smile after an error when you're up by 13. That one is blocked by Hope, but Calvin gets it over. But Hope will have another chance. Outside, right side, Emma Post, who pounds it down. Lauren Lee distracted the defense, and she went right when the defense went left. It's 22-12.
No block up on that one. Post shutting it down.
Block it. Middle attack, and Calvin is going to pick up another point. That time it was Roskamp again, 23-10. Lester will serve. Jenna Core to Post, who gets it off of the double block of Boss and Roskamp. And Jenna Core picks up a point, and it is 23-11. I think that's Jenna Core's first kill. A tough serve by Hope. Heidi Westra gets a hand on it, it flies over, and that's when you know things are going your way, Parker.
Bump kill.
Wow. Set point. Lee chases it down close to the net. Jenna Core pushes it over, but Calvin manages to get it, even though they struggled to start with. Outside the post. Westra with a dig. An attempt by DeVries is blocked by DeWeert. Calvin will have a chance. Westra is blocked. Finally, Heidi Westra is shut down. That's the good news. The bad news is it's 24-12.
And Hope is just having to fight for every single point. Calvin doing a great job of covering everything that comes over. But Hope able to get it done here.
You're right. That's a really good point. It's just so much work against this Knight team. Hope will get a chance here. Lee on the slide to DeWeert, picked up by Calvin. Outside attack. Side to Lee to Core. It's blocked. Hope covers. Core will get another chance. Westra, DeVries, outside roll shot. And Lauren Lee's going to send it over on the second contact. And here's a slide, and Hope picks that up, but they can't quite get to it. And the set goes to Calvin, 25-12. Calvin up 2-0. We will be back after this between set break. You are watching Hope Volleyball.
My name is Megan Bigelow, and during my time there, I was on the Hope women's soccer team. I decided to choose Hope because of the opportunity to be involved in multiple things. I didn't want to go somewhere where I was just a number in the field. I was able to double major, experience both a business academic load as well as economics. I loved the opportunity to really get to know my professors. Hope exceeded my expectations.
I'm Nate Bauman. As an invested community partner, we're proud to help share Hope's stories of transformational impact.
It's no secret. The best way to learn about Hope College is to spend time on our campus. The Hope admissions team invites you to a personalized visit experience you won't forget. Located in downtown Holland, Michigan, our historic campus is close to shopping and dining and just 10 minutes from Lake Michigan. We invite you to check out our campus tour options or sign up for an online tour with the Hope admissions office. There's never been a better time to see Hope College. Visit us at hope.edu/admissions.
My name is Evan Thomas. I'm a rising senior at Hope College. I'm a biology major and a chemistry minor on the pre-med track, and I play basketball here. Hope's really defined my goals and defined the path I want to set for myself. Coach Mitchell has been a big catalyst in my growth here at Hope, as well as many professors, specifically my lab professor, Dr. Calvo.
At 3, all set to get started here. Parker, this is, two evenly matched teams on any given night. But this is just, I'm not sure Calvin's going to lose to anybody if they play like this.
This is truly top tier. I totally agree with that statement. They're not losing to anybody. And I mean, that's where athletics come into play, right? A best of 5 match. We'll see if they can keep the steam and, Hope seeming as though they can make a few more plays there at the end. We'll see if they can take some of that momentum and bring it against the Knights, but it's not looking great.
This reminds me of the 2014 season in reverse, where the two teams met in the national semifinal. They were evenly matched, and Hope absolutely dominated the national semifinal match to the point where it was reported that the Calvin players were sitting on the bench after losing the first 2 quite convincingly, saying, we don't know what to do. And in some ways, you almost got to feel like Hope might be thinking that, because Calvin's not making any mistakes. Including that attack by Gabriella Kellogg after a little back and forth to start the 3rd set. And once again, Calvin with the upper hand. They lead 1-0.
And not only no mistakes, they're playing super well, going really aggressive on their swings, and it's paying off.
Here's Ken to serve. Lauren Lee sends it over on the second contact. She picks up a point, and we're tied at 1. Remember, Parker, set 2 started with Hope showing a lot of energy, and Calvin snuffed it out quickly.
See if the narrative can change here.
Right side to Westra. Going hard from right to left, getting it out of the reach of Emma Post. Calvin with a 2-1 lead.
And I think that's exactly what you do for Calvin. Feed the big swingers right now. They're absolutely being so effective.
Charlotte Breck pushes it over, but Calvin handles it. Grace Marshall fields the first contact from Hope. There's Lockett, and she is blocked by Heidi Westra. 3-1 Calvin. Westra with 11 kills, hitting .476. Here's Rubel. And that's a deep overpass. And Lauren Lee wins the battle at the net with Heidi Westra. And Hope picks up the point. Lee gives up about 6 inches. But she gets up high and was able to push it over. It's 3-2 Calvin. Westra from the right rolls it over, picked up by Post. Lockett with a decent chance, and it's in! She puts it in the deep corner. Lockett with a deep corner rocket, and we're tied at 3.
Lockett able to do so much when she's able to use that high contact. We'll see if she can get more effective here.
I still think you're right, Parker. Hope is going to be successful if they can get the ball in Lauren Lee's hands on serve receive. It's an ace by Lauren Lee. And finally, this crowd has something to cheer about. They were on their hands and muffled and muted. They only lead by 1, but I'm not sure they've led at all. It's 4-3, Lee to serve again. Tough serve. Westra is blocked. Calvin covers. Westra will go again. Picked up by Lee, chased down by Marshall, and Lockett will free ball it over. They're going to go middle, and Lee can't quite get a hand on it as Tori Roskamp, the local, this is a home game for her, the Holland Christian grad, fires a laser, and we're tied at 4. Westra to serve. Far down the right side, too far. Service error by Calvin, and it is 5-4. A little more back and forth, and Jenna Cord's into the game much earlier than she had been because Calvin hasn't had their string of serves like they had in the first 2. DeVries sends it over, but Core was waiting. Rubel sends it over. Hope's not really ready, but Core will get something on it. It's blocked. Core covers her own, and Emma Post can't quite pick it up. That was a good play by Calvin. Core was with a heady play, but she just couldn't get much on it.
And Hope going point by point here. We'll see if Calvin breaks them. Sammy Side coming in for the Dutch.
When you have a team playing so well and better than you are, like Calvin is, you just want to hang around, don't you?
Yep.
Here's Lee outside the post, who puts it down right in front of Boss. Emma Post showing her fire as she can get up and breaks loose for her. Let's see what's 5th kill of the night. That one goes deep, and that will tie it up at 6.
And I think that's where you see the importance of passing in that first contact, right? First ball kill coming out of the gate. Great pass by Hope. We'll see if they can do it again here, but that's where they're really going to be successful, if they start playing more high percentage from the passing line.
Roskamp serves it to Marshall. Lee's able to get it. Core. It's blocked but covered by Westra. The attack by Kellogg is in right between Seib and Marshall, and Calvin picks up the 7-6 lead. Roskamp will serve again. Jump serve deep, way deep, and that's a point for Hope, and we're tied at 7.
Seeing a lot more back and forth, looking good for the Dutch. But Calvin's still not looking bad by any means.
No, they're still playing great, but Hope has found a way to answer some of it anyway. Tied at 7. Kellogg picked up by Hope. Outside, back row attack by Post, and that was deep, so Calvin will pick up the point. It is 8-7, Knights in the lead. DeVries will serve. Marshall, it's going to have to be Post on the second one. Good job by Jenna Core to put it over in the corner, and I think Coach Schmidt wanted a back row attack. Here's Lauren Lee on a slide to DeWeert, and she puts it off the block, and Calvin can't chase it down, and we are tied at 8.
Hope getting in system a little more, able to swing at high contacts. That's making a huge difference. They're able to see much more of the court, swing so many more angles.
Yeah, I agree. DeWeert on that last one. That's a good call, Parker. Fiebing serves from a standing position. Reese will go on the serve-receive rotation. That's Heidi Westra's chance to come in from the middle, and she just glides through the air and picks up the kill. It's 9-8 Calvin.
Wonder if Heidi misses seeing Tracy Westra across the net on these big Hope Calvin matchups. That
was a fun sister rivalry. Heidi getting the better end of that most of the time, and she is still here. Annie Lockett sends it down the line from the outside, and we're tied at 9.
And this is a lot more of what I was expecting. A lot of back and forth. We've got a couple big swingers on each team.
5th kill for Lockett. We're tied at 9. Outside is Boss. She goes wide, but it's touched. It will be a point for Calvin. Boy, you have to think, Parker, if Hope came out playing like this in set 1, we might be here till midnight.
Much different story.
Rubel puts it deep middle. Lee is able to get to it. Breck comes in from behind, pushes it over from the middle. Now it's going to be Lee who puts it over on the second contact. And that was not a great second contact, but there's no call. Post rolls it over. And Westra from the right side, covered by Hope. Lockett will get a chance. That one is covered by DeVries. Westra pushes it over, dug up by Post, and it's going to be free-balled over, and Calvin will get another chance, tight to the net. Middle attack is good by Roskamp, as Post can't quite dig it up, or at least once, if not twice. The coaching staff from Hope thought that ball was wiggling just a little too much, but there was no call. Calvin leads 11-9.
And DeVries pushing that middle set out. She did such a great job of seeing the block was right on the middle, pushed it past them. Little misconnection there.
Yep, they didn't exactly connect in the middle like they wanted, and that will be an error for Hope, and it will be a 12-9. And we're still sort of shell-shocked from the first two. We really don't want this thing to get too big of a lead. Annie Lockett comes hard from left to right, but she cuts it too tightly, and it is 13-9. Coach Schmidt wisely calls a timeout. Calvin has extended the lead to 4. We will be back with more Hope Volleyball right after this.
I hope to use what I've learned here at Hope to continue my research in medical school. Through medicine, I hope I can erase healthcare disparities.
I'm Ryan Vanderswart. As an invested community partner, LBZ is proud to help share Hope College's stories of transformational impact.
There is a school whose namesake is not a founder, not a historian.
Vanderswart. Evan Thomas highlighted in that spot. Saw ET today coming out of practice as I was finishing my workout. All-league player, back for his senior season before he heads on to medical school. But it's not basketball season yet. At least it's not basketball game season. Right now we're in the middle of volleyball season as Hope is trying to climb their way out of an 0-2 set deficit and a 13-9 game deficit. And it will be Breck on the slide. She pushes it over. Rubel picks it up. Outside attack by Boss is blocked by Hope. Lee and Breck with a tandem block, and it's 13-10. Lauren Lee dropping back, trying desperately to close this gap.
That was a great timeout by Coach Schmidt. You know, there was a ton of back and forth, early side outs for both teams, no momentum. And as soon as that momentum shifted towards Calvin, timeout called. Little inspirational speech, little, hey, continue to do this, do that, and Hope find a way to get a point right out of the timeout.
So would you say it's really first pass? That's where we got to be right now?
Absolutely. So many more first ball kills from the Dutch, able to take advantage of being in system, and they're working well with it when it happens.
Westra has to push it over as the timing was a little off for Calvin. One of the few times things didn't go well for the Knights this evening, and it is 11-13. The Calvin lead is down to 2.
Couple Calvin errors in a row there. First time we've seen that.
Lauren Lee, a tough server. She challenges her opponents, but that time she hit it too hard, too long, and it's 14-11. Westra will drop back with Knights with a 3-point lead. Fiebing, right side to Post, dug up by Westra. Outside is Boss, and it's blocked again by Brooke and Or was it Brecken Post? Brecken Post. 14-12. It's an overpass, so Hope will get a chance. Lee will go right side to Post. It's ricocheted back, so Calvin will get a chance. Here's Boss, picked up by Lockett, but it's an overpass. That's illegal. Well, I guess they're going to count that. It looked kind of, I guess on the first contact you can take some liberties, and it's 15-12 Calvin.
Yep, no doubles on the first contact, but good sign for the Dutch is that Calvin seems to have a couple more errors. Not looking like the, pristine, perfect team they were in the first two sets, but still so dominant.
Here is Boss. Core tight to the net, so it'll have to be free balled over. Westwood on the slide. It's Corey Roskamp. Slips it in between the net and the block, and it's 16-12. Calvin, Hope had cut it to 2 after the timeout. Calvin has extended the lead back to 4. They are 9 points away from a 3-0 match victory. Here's Lee to Core. Great attack, but Westra handles it. A roll shot by Kellogg. This is going to be a roll shot by Core. They're going to go outside to Kellogg, and she finds a spot, slipping it between Brett and Post that time. 17-12 Calvin.
And Westra at that point showing that she's not just a big swinger, a couple of great digs, keeping the Knights in system.
Even when we're getting great attacks, Calvin has great back row defense tonight.
Good pass.
Here's Core.
Great.
And this time she gets it past Heidi. Finally, Westra is not able to make a highlight reel dig back there. Hope picks up a point. It's 17-13. Grace Marshall in desperate need of some serves to cut this lead, or everyone's going home earlier than we want. It's blocked by Hope, but Calvin gets it back. Here's Core, who sends it just deep. Wow, that was close on the line. Would you challenge that one, Parker, or was that out?
I thought that one looked out.
All right.
But Calvin, I mean,
I gotta take my bias glasses off. 18-13, Calvin with the lead.
Calvin's defense so scrappy, getting everything back over.
And that's a service error by Roskamp, so the Hope does get it back, but they trail by 4. Calvin is within 7 of a match victory over their rival, and easily ensconcing themselves into a top 5 position in the national rankings. Here's Lee. She'll go middle to DeWeert. Mistimed, and it worked. We haven't had much good luck at all, but we had good luck on that one, and it's down to 3.
Weird swinging big, then finally making a little change up. Works out well.
Emma Post with the left-handed serve. Westra chased down tight to the net, and Calvin will get another chance. Some people thought 4 contacts. Blocked that time by Hope. Westra will have to free ball it over. Outside the Core, who puts it over on Westra. It's an overpass, and DeWeert is there to answer. What a play. Heidi Westra was able to get it back. Unfortunately for Heidi, I think there may have been some of her face or head, but she got it over, but then DeWeert was there for the overpass. It's back to a 2-point set. And let's just keep it here, Parker, because they're playing the 2014 song of the national champions. Bruce Springsteen's Glory. Someone texted me before the match, hey, Stoop, how many mentions of the 2014 National Championship team are you going to have? I said, well, we're playing Calvin, so I wouldn't go under if I were you. 18-16. Calvin with the lead. As excited as we are, they still lead, and now they lead by 3. And they have had an answer every time we've tried to mount a challenge. DeVries to serve. Picked up by Marshall. Jenna Core puts it over. Calvin covers the tip. And Westra sent it hard. It might have been out, but we did have to pick it up, and it is 20-16 Calvin.
Westra showing she wasn't rattled at all by that ball to the face. I think that's why Calvin called the timeout. I
think it was a good move by Coach Warners, as that one hit her hard, and Hope picked up the point. And there's a service ace by DeVries, and it's 21-16. That was exactly the kind of momentum swing that Hope would have needed, but Calvin had an answer. So we're going to take one more break here in set 3. We hope it's not the last set, but we're going to have one more break. Hope calls their timeout. They trail by 5, and we will be back with more Hope Volleyball.
The River Place in downtown Holland redefines active senior living. A no-step floor plan is designed around your needs, so you can leave the worries of home ownership behind and enjoy a vibrant lifestyle right outside your door. Make the River Place your home. Visit resthaven.org/riverplace to reserve yours today.
Welcome back to the DeVos Fieldhouse. Parker, we need a lot of good play, and we need a lot of luck right now.
Yeah, we'll see if the Dutch passing continues to elevate itself. I think that's the reason why they've crawled back into this third set with a little more vigor. But we'll see coming out of the timeout what the Knights give them.
Marshall to Lee. On the slide is blocked. The weird is blocked by Martinez and Kellogg. And Calvin is 3 points away. Martinez coming up a little tenderly on her ankle. Down official checking. She will stay in the match, and DeVries will serve with a Knight lead of 6. Core gets it off the block, but it's covered by Rubel. That's Kellogg. That one's covered by Post off the block. Core rolls it. Picked up by DeVries. Outside is Kellogg, and Hope cannot cover on the block as it ricochets high, and it is 23-16. DeVries. Post sends it over from about 18 feet back and puts it right in front of Rubel. Well, that didn't look like it was going to go well, and it did. It was a point for Hope. Annie Lockett is going to come in. Seib will come out. Phoebe will come in, and Core will come out. Hope needing to get 8 of the next 9 points, or this one's over. Heidi Westra is going to send a little tip, but it's covered by Phoebing. Here's Lockett, who sends a rocket right between Westra and Martinez, and it's 23-18.
And Hope has quite the hole to dig out of, but last year I think they came back from a 10-point deficit, so you can never call it over.
I remember that. That was over there, wasn't it? Westra gets it off the block, and Hope is unable to cover it, and it's 24-18. Match point for the Knights. Kellogg is out. Teresa Ken, who's had saw a lot of success serving tonight, particularly in set one, will serve for the match. 3 ball. Calvin with a chance. They'll go middle. It's covered by Hope. Hope will get a chance. Here's Lockett. Sends it down. And she picks up another kill. And Hope lives to fight another point. 24-19. No room for error. Calvin wins. Service error. 25-19 in set 3, as they have shown everybody tonight why they are ranked number 3 in the country. They made very few mistakes. They played aggressively. They played with poise. They played relaxed. Parker, I don't know. They're not going to play this well every night, but if they play this well when they get in the tournament, they're not going to lose. I don't see anybody beating them.
Yeah, if they play that well, they're going to make a very, very deep run. That is the most in form I've ever seen Calvin play, especially here at home. So kudos to them. Props to them for a great night here at the DeVos Fieldhouse.
We want to thank Lizzie McHugh for doing our directing, and Ali Mashure for camera work. And of course, we want to thank our executive producer, the executive producer extraordinaire, I like to call him, Mr. Steve Secor, a man of many talents and knowledgeable about all things Formula One racing. You know anything about Formula One, Parker?
Nope.
Well, you got to talk to Secor because he knows everything. We want to thank you on behalf of Parker Billings. We wish we could bring you better news if you're a Hope College Flying Dutch fan. Congratulations to Calvin Knights. Thank you for joining us. We will be back for the next home match, and we will be on the air tomorrow afternoon for Hope College football. So on behalf of all of the folks who made this possible for you, I'm Scott Vanderstoop wishing you a good evening. This has been Hope Volleyball.
Thank you.